So, I think that gets to the crux of a lot of the frustration of those of us that live in Iowa. And I think Dave Potter said it earlier, and Teddy kind of said part of it earlier, but I think the big frustration for me is that this isn't what it's billed to be. If this was a small-scale Vermont Community Wind Farm, where Ira put up 6 towers of a moderate size to generate what little energy Ira needs, and we shared in the risk and financial benefit, and we worked it out amongst our neighbors, I would be able to support a project like that. I think a lot of other people would too. But Ira was chosen not because someone looked at Vermont and said, where's the right place for a big wind project? A big out-of-state land management company who happens to own a bunch of property here and saw a chance to make money said, let's put out a request for proposal to do it here because there's an opportunity. And it's a deal between a out-of-state landowner, a private developer, chosen here based on factors that really have everything to do with money and nothing to do with Ira's really the best place for this. And the scope of the project is based on, well, it needs to be this big, and I understand it's hugely expensive to jump through the hoops you need to jump through to do this, but that doesn't make it the right place or the right scope for this community. And I think, we feel like hapless victims because somebody outside this town owns most of this land. And they're never going to have to look at it. They're never going to have to explain themselves to those of us that do. And we end up feeling like, it's all this big money, big business, big energy, and can they convince the 3 members on the Public Service Board? And we would never allow this kind of development for any other purpose. If they were 40 sculptures that big, or smokestacks, or houses, or any other development on the ridge, Ira would never allow it. But because it's an energy project, we can't fight it with zoning or anything else. We're at the mercy of the 3 members of the Public Service Board and, whatever thoughts or feelings the developers have or the company that owns the land. So we're screwed. Our opinions ultimately don't matter. And that's really frustrating.
Two points. Your opinions do matter. Just look at it, kind of look at it from our perspective. We have the opportunity to go to the Public Service Board with an application that Ira conceivably could support. Now, I don't know if that's even remotely possible, but if it is, we owe it to the project and to ourselves, and quite frankly to you folks, to try to find that out, to discover that, find out where that is, and then proceed. That's a much better scenario moving forward than the alternative. So, yeah, your opinions matter greatly. Don't diminish that. Do you have control? No, you don't have control. We don't either, quite frankly. We don't either. The decision is made by those 3 people. We do have control over what those 3 people get to decide over, what they're reviewing, and that's why we're here. Because together we can probably come up with a better project than we could do without you, and probably a lot better from a standpoint of what you folks can, accept ultimately, what you could see as having value. You made a suggestion here, which I thought was a good one, in terms of a limited number of turbines.